The quality of our thinking defines the quality of our lives. This book provides timeless and universal mental models to help us think better and make better decisions. These mental models come from multiple disciplines and allow us to see situations from different perspectives. By building a latticework of mental models in our minds, we can understand reality more accurately and make wiser choices. I'll summarize 9 key mental models from the book. The first mental model is the map is not the territory. Just like a map is a representation of a territory, but not the actual territory itself, our mental models are a representation of reality, but not reality itself. All models inevitably simplify the complexity of the real world. We run into problems when we mistake our models for absolute truth and forget that the real world is more nuanced. As an example, the powerful model of the tragedy of the commons shows how shared public resources can become overused and depleted. But economist Elinor Ostrom showed that in some cases, groups can collectively manage shared resources sustainably, contradicting the model. The model provides insight, but has limitations. We must remember that models describe reality, but aren't reality. Moving on to the next mental model, and the circle of competence model say we should focus our time and energy on subjects we have knowledge and skill in. Just like Sherpa guides who grow up in the Himalayas have deep expertise about climbing Mount Everest that outside climbers lack, we are all lifers about certain subjects and strangers about others. Operating inside our circles of competence gives us an advantage. The model reminds us to be honest about the limits of our knowledge. When we face decisions outside our expertise, we can either build competence, seek advice from experts, or find simple solutions. Queen Elizabeth I surrounded herself with trusted advisors to compensate for her inexperience as a new monarch. Using this model helps us contribute value and avoid costly mistakes. Now, on to first principles thinking.
First principles thinking involves breaking complex problems down into basic elements to understand their essence.
Instead of reasoning by analogy or convention, we examine problems through fundamental truths. For example, scientists Robin Warren and Barry Marshall questioned the assumption that bacteria couldn't survive in the acidic stomach. Through experiments, they discovered H. pylori bacteria caused Sternac ulcers, overturning conventional wisdom. Thomas Edison used first principles thinking to invent the light bulb after breaking down everything known about light and electricity at the time. The model helps us cut through dogma and superficial thinking. Thought experiments are another useful mental model. The thought experiment is an imaginary scenario constructed in our minds to help us learn and test ideas. Since we can't always experiment in the real world, thought experiments allow us to mentally explore possibilities.
Albert Einstein famously imagined riding on a beam of light to conceptualize the theory of relativity.
Other thought experiments have examined ethics, like the classic trolley problem that asks if it's acceptable to sacrifice one person to save many others. Thought experiments force us to deeply consider concepts and implications. They supplement real-world experience. Now let's examine second-order thinking. First-order thinking predicts direct effects of actions. If I do X, Y will happen. Second-order thinking looks further ahead at indirect effects. If I do X, which causes Y, what will be the effects of Y? Second-order thinking helps avoid unintended consequences. For example, the overuse of antibiotics made meat cheaper, but created drug-resistant bacteria, an unintended second-order effect. When Cleopatra aligned with Rome for protection, she understood the potential second-order benefits of stability over the long term. Second-order thinking advances our interests by anticipating chains of events beyond immediate effects. Next, probabilistic thinking is a crucial mental model. Probabilistic thinking involves estimating the likelihood of potential outcomes based on current information. Since the future is unpredictable, we have to think in terms of probabilities. Bayesian thinking is one approach which uses new evidence to update our existing probabilities of something being true. For example, a 1% chance of rain wouldn't stop your picnic, but a 90% chance would. Probabilities are not ironclad, but estimating them properly helps us prepare, balance risk, and make better decisions under uncertainty. Inversion is another powerful mental model. Inversion means reversing our usual way of thinking. Instead of thinking forward from cause to effect, we think backward from a desired outcome to potential causes. Inversion often yields non-obvious solutions. Charles Munger came up with the idea for index funds by inverting traditional active investment strategies. He realized most people can't beat the overall market consistently, so a passive index matching the market would serve investors better. Next, let's look at Occam's razor. Occam's razor says that the simplest solution or explanation is most likely to be true. When choosing between competing theories, we should pick the one making the fewest assumptions. Complex solutions may dazzle, but simple ones are more robust. For example, astronomer Vera Rubin discovered that galaxies don't rotate as physics predicts. Exotic theories emerged, but the simplest explanation was dark matter, an invisible substance affecting galaxy motion. Dark matter theory made the fewest assumptions while explaining the data. Occam's razor filters out needless complexity. Simple models provide clarity. The last mental model we'll cover is Hanlon's razor. Hanlon's razor states we should not attribute something to malice if it can be adequately explained by stupidity or incompetence. When we assume bad intent behind actions, we often miss other explanations and opportunities. For example, when the Roman Emperor Honorius executed his top general out of paranoia, it dealt a major blow to Rome's military power. Evaluating incompetence as some point phase model, rather than assuming of disloyalty, might have prevented a calamity. Hanlon's razor urges restraint in ascribing motives. It provides perspective when bad things happen. In conclusion, expanding our mental models tools improves our thinking and decision making. These models reveal timeless insights about systems, human nature, probability, and more. Mastering when and how to apply them helps us navigate nearly any situation or challenge effectively. With wisdom, we gain freedom, opportunity, and a deeper understanding of the world.